Yo, it's good, beautiful people. We are here with the third part of Condensed Chaos. For my wizards, witches, warlocks, the charm ones, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. By 1978, there appeared the first advertisements for the Illuminates of Thanateros, an order whose practices were composed of a blend of shamanism, Taoism, Tantra, and Thelema. The announcement of this new order was shortly followed by the first edition of Peter Carroll's Liber Null, which, while describing the basic philosophy and practical approaches, did not contain the term chaos magic. Liber Null was closely followed by the Book of Results by Ray Sherwin, which lucidly explained Austin Osman Spare's great magical innovation, sigil magic. Austin Osman Spare is considered by many to be the grandfather of chaos magic, an obscure figure brought to light by the work of Kenneth Grant. Spare was a superb magical artist, sorcerer, and spiritualist. At a time when many of his contemporaries sneered at table tapping and contacting spirit guides in favour of elaborate Rosicrucian ceremonies, Spare was painting the spirits he was in contact with, and using his own system of sentient letters, sigils, to manifest his desires. Spare was not particularly enamoured of the Golden Dawn style approach to magic, and makes some very acid comments on the subject in The Book of Pleasure, published in 1913. The Book of Pleasure, subtitled The Psychology of Ecstasy, contains the essentials of Spare's magical philosophy and the key techniques with which he applied it. It is not an easy book to read, and Spare is often referred to as an incomprehensible mystic. His vocabulary is wide, his use of grammar is strange, and he uses many terms in ways that give them a different meaning from their usual context. Nor was he attempting to write in a textbook style that modern readers are used to, and the Book of Pleasure is very stylistically reminiscent of an old grimoire before it has been tidied up. Fortunately, the Book of Results gave a very clear exposition of sigil magic, and Liber Null also dealt with Spare's concept of the alphabet of desire. Another powerful influence of the development of chaos magic was the work of Aleister Crowley. Crowley synthesized a magical worldview, a psychocosm, out of his studies in magical and esoteric fields such as the Golden Dawn, yoga, alchemy, Kabbalah, and from his experience in other disciplines. Moreover, it is Crowley's life rather than his voluminous magical and mystical writings that is of interest. Crowley took his personal experience, magical and otherwise, and created his own enclave, beyond the boundaries of conventional morality. He deliberately sought extremes of experience, concealing and at the same time revealing himself through a series of colourful personalities. Part of Crowley's attraction for the modern magician is that he created something which has enduring power, a psychocosm, which continues to be developed and twisted into different forms. Crowley did not so much follow a tradition, he embodied the dynamic process of reality engagement, creating his own path from whatever he happened to find in front of him. The early growth of chaos magic was characterized by a loose network of informal groups who came together to experiment with the possibilities of the new current. With the demise of the new equinox, the Chaos Kids reported their results and heresies in the pages of the new British occult magazine, The Lamp of Thoth. The early Chaos books were joined by two tapes, The Chaos Concept, which discussed the basics of chaos magic, and The Chaos Chamber, a science fiction pathworking which combined elements of Star Trek, Michael Moorcock, and H.G. Wells. The Sorcerer's Apprentice Press then re-released Liber Null and the Book of Results, as well as Pete Carroll's Psychonaut. These, together with articles from the growing chaos corpus in the Lamp of Thoth, drew more people into experimenting with the new approach. Thanks to the efforts of Ralph Tegmeyer, the chaos approach was also receiving attention in continental Europe. The simple message of chaos magic is that what is fundamental to magic is the actual doing of it. That, like sex, no amount of theorizing and intellectualization can substitute for the actual experience. I agree with that. Carroll's Liber Null, therefore, presented the bare bones of the magical techniques which can be employed to bring about change in one's circumstances. Liber Null concentrated on techniques, saying that the actual methods of magic are basically shared by the different systems, despite the differing symbols, beliefs, and dogmas. What symbol systems you wish to employ is a matter of choice, and that the webs of belief which surround them are means to an end, rather than ends in themselves. We'll speak more on that one later. An important influence on the development of chaos magic was the writing of Robert Anton Wilson and company, particularly the Discordian Society, who revered Eris, the Greek goddess of chaos. The Discordians pointed out that humour, clowning about, and general lightheartedness was conspicuously absent from magic, which had a tendency to become very serious and self-important. There was, and to a certain extent remains, a tendency for occultists to think of themselves as an initiated elite compared to the rest of humanity. The Discordian Society is, in its own words, a tribe of philosophers, theologians, magicians, scientists, artists, clowns, and similar maniacs who were intrigued with the Eris, goddess of confusion, and her doings. We're pretty much at 6. We'll stop it there, and we will continue tomorrow with more Condensed Chaos. Have a good night, people. Much love.